All right, good morning. Good morning, everybody. We we're going. I think our lake's thermocline has disappeared. That's what I think. That's what I think. And I'm pretty good at guessing these things. And we're going to go out to this marker over here. Let me see. Check to see if these fish are still there. All right. We're going to use this new bait formulation that I made that works so well. On Friday. It's just a 2¼ inch paddle tail grub. That's all it is. On, I don't know how I'm going to put it on a crappie. I'm going to put it on a Ned. What I did didn't work. I have a lot of Neds. Neds are one of those things that work. And people don't use them. I'm going to go heavy though, 1/4 ounce, because I really want it to paddle on the way down. Put this on here. Yeah, I really softened up the plastic on this. And I added 25% salt to my plastisol mixture. And it seems to work really well. Green pumpkin in a pearlescent color. And I'm going to come up here. I don't think I need to anchor, although it's warming up. Got near freezing last night here, and that is going to change water temp dramatically. And the fish, they knew that Friday. They knew it was coming. So I'm going to go right over here to this marker right here, this buoy marker. And I found a huge school of smallies here on Friday and kept pulling them up. So that's what we're going to do now. I mean, 25 feet down this time of year for a smallmouth is just kind of unheard of. So we're just going to cast that out. We're going to let that fall down to the floor. And it wouldn't surprise me if we catch a smallmouth at all, because that's where glasses are fogged up a bit. Don't forget, when we hit 2,000 on my channel, we're going to give away a rod. Good morning. Good luck out there, my friend. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Robert. Robert, you got a package this week coming. I hope you like it. Oh, there we go. I think I got a smallmouth. No, just weeds. Just FYI. From a friend to a friend is all that is. I think you'll like it. Well, of course you're going to like it because it's a gift. It's a gift from me to you, buddy. I sent out a few gifts this last week. You're So now I'm using my A scope to see where my bait is. And we are at 30 feet, so we are catching them right about here. Oh, there we go. Oh, that was a bite. How weird is that, you know? I mean, it's where I expected it, but the fish are really deep. Yeah, there they are. There they are. Bam. There we go. We got, oh, missed it. I don't think I set the hook good. Let's see if we can get another one. Weird, weird, weird. 20 feet. Okay, we're coming down to it. You see your bait on the A scope. The nibbles, nibbles. We got one. We got one. We got one. Yep. Smallmouth. 25 feet down, guys. I think the thermocline's gone. That's what I think, because these guys are very confused. So we're going to anchor here because they're still here. I'm going to drop anchor right here. And it's weird the way that, the thermocline's gone right now. It seems, I mean, this is very early in August to lose your thermocline. Even here in Oregon. This is crazy. I usually don't fish here for bass, but man, my goodness. This is where they're at. This is where we're going to be, right? Might have to send you more deeper. Well, I'll tell you, you just do it for friends. You just send stuff to friends when they don't. I think gifts, when they're unexpected, are the best gifts of all. I mean, holidays force people to give gifts, but I don't want to be forced to give a gift. Robert's been very generous for me, and I really appreciate the support that he's given, and as well as many others. I really do. I mean, it doesn't go unappreciated, that's for sure. That's for sure. It doesn't go unappreciated. You guys mean a lot. And what other YouTube channel just sends out gifts to people? Not many. I think it's a good thing. Since I make it, custom bait sent to you for just being a good person. Oh, more bites. Nibbles. Do a little jigging here. That's all I'm doing is jigging. And then jig and pause. I see a fish coming from up above to me. He's good size. Let's see if he hits it. He's going back up. A little deep here, 34 feet right here. You need to get in about 10 more feet horizontally in order to get into that honey hole right here. It's weird what a few feet can do. This is it. Looks like I've got some at 20 feet. Oh, they see it. Here they come. We should have a bite any second. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Right on top of it. All this is a paddle-tail Ned, basically. Fishing via A-scope. It's just like ice fishing in a way. The flashers are basically a A-scope with a really cool display. I love ice. I hope we have a good ice fishing season this year. All right. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. You know that. Come on. Let's pull it under the A-scope suit so I can see it better. Should have brought my flasher. Knowing I was going to do this. Okay. See a fish coming down to it. He swam away. I think I'm going to have to move my anchor in just a little bit because I think I'm anchored just about 10 feet out of this honey hole. There we go. Duck. Oh yeah. This is it, man. There's like a honey hole right here. Not used to jigging for bass, that's for sure. But this bait works. Bait works. You know, when you make baits, that's pretty much all you're worried about. Does your bait formula and design work? I'm going to move this anchor because I keep drifting. There we go. I'm going to stay right next to this buoy marker. I do believe this lake's thermocline has dissipated. We've lost 4 degrees in 4 days. There we go. We got one. We got another one. Yep, another smallie. Good size. He's good size smallie. Maybe a half a pound. Stop. The fins get in me. So there we go, another smallmouth. They are beautiful. Look at these stripings on the head. It's just a beautiful fish. So yeah, so these smallies are 25 feet down right now. And I just, you know, for August, this is just a surprise to me. So now, you know, Robert's going to love that package I sent him. It's all soft plastics. I molded and painted, and he's going to love it. And they're working, obviously, since you've already seen me catch 2 smallmouths right now. So I'm basically just jigging these things. That's what I'm doing. They're not hitting hard, which also tells me why, when a fish is in cold water, they hit real soft. So having a light rod is real important for you to see and feel those really light touches. Um, we, when you're ice fishing, I gotta adjust this anchor better. We gotta stay right next to this thing. Scare the fish a little bit here. There we go. Small ice rods are very, 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 it's kind of a moderate slow. And you could see everything that hits it. A fast rod is stiffer, just so you know, but it's got a faster tip. But a slow rod bends. It's pretty much kind of the design of ice fishing rods. So you can see those really soft bites. This is 7.5 foot fast, so it's got a little bit more fast action on the tip than a 7 foot or 6 foot. Ah, yeah, that's 7 feet, I think, is my ultralight there. I did not put my mediums on the boat. I'm just off bottom right here, 26 feet down. It's a rocky bottom. This is not a. That's why the smallies enjoy the rocky, the hard packs. Hitting that buoy. It's fine with me. It's kind of what I want to do. Lift it. Let it paddle its tail down. That's what it does. The paddle tail does this on the drop. Let's go to the bottom. See what happens. So when the thermocline disappears, if you don't know what a thermocline is, oh, thank you. Thank you, Pepone. Thank you very much. The thermocline is the barrier between warm and cold waters. It's kind of like the no fish zone, okay? When weather changes, the water temperature is going to change. What ends up happening is that thermocline starts to get smaller, 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 and then it disappears. And then it'll grow again. And when it starts to grow again, that's what we call an inversion, because the warm water that was on top is now going to sink to the bottom. The cold water that was on the bottom is going to start to come to the top. And that's the shrinkage and the growth of the thermocline. And that, I do believe, is what has happened here. The thermocline is right now gone. So you can catch fish. To be honest, I could pull up a trout for all I know. because if the thermocline is gone, the trout should be sharing this water column with my bass. Now, if it's shrinking, I won't be pulling up a trout. So species of fish will actually tell you where the thermocline barrier is. You know, it's just kind of weird, but that's the way it works. And it's kind of cool in a way. Well, it's very cool, actually, I think. I think. But when you understand depth, species, temperature, you become more effective at fishing. I don't know what it's like in the Philippines. It's a different hemisphere. So you're probably in your winter right now, I would think, or no. Yeah, you might be in winter where you are. I don't know. You definitely don't have ice fishing in the Philippines. You're pretty much on the equator. Probably. Oh, there's a bite. Again, very soft bites. It's really soft bites. The smallmouth bass is actually one of the strongest and feistiest fish in the lake. They really give you the best fight. And a good sized trout will do that too. So I'm going to pull this up a little bit because I see some fish up here. I definitely know the thermocline is moving on us. That I have no doubt whatsoever. Show you something kind of fun too. Because right now we're looking at smallies right down here. Oh, we got one coming up to inspect my bait. Let's see if he bites it. Oh, here he comes, 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 here he comes. He's on top of it. He's on top of it. Jig it just a little bit, like 6 inches. Not much. Just give it that paddle tail a little bit, and we can make him chase it and bring it down. That was about a 3-foot movement. He did not take it. He's still down there though. If a fish chases it, your chance of a bite, it becomes greater because it's instinctive at that point. They're working off of a hunting factor. This honey hole is really small right here. probably 5 by 10 feet where these fish are actually, in. Goodness, I keep moving about 5 feet, so it's like, but here's the honey hole right here. We're back on top of it. Okay, come on, babies. Yep, nibble, nibble, couple nibbles. Like I said, it's like a hole right here. These fish are held up in. Why have I not discovered this before? I don't know. I'm going to do about a 5-foot drop again. Really slow. You want it? I may have used too heavy of a. There's an osprey. Oh no, that's a great blue heron. Flying overhead, big bird. Let's pull it up. Let's see what happens. I'm seeing some fish up here. See, as the thermocline dissipates, your depth of finding fish varies greatly. And I mean, Friday I was shocked because I had 71 degrees surface temp. At the moment we had 67. Okay, got some fish down there. This is where fish finder true. When you're jigging, fish finders are invaluable. It tells you if you're in a good spot or not. Otherwise, fish finders just show you what you're not catching. All right, I'm going to show you something kind of cool. I'm going to pull this up with stop and starts. I'm going to see if I can get a fish to chase it. And then I'm going to cast it out there. Out there is vegetation. So we're going to, strangely enough, what we'll end up doing is changing species. We're going to catch a largemouth. Okay, so now we're going to toss it out here. Okay, where it landed is large vegetation. Why? We're going to pull this anchor up. We got to move us back over here. I don't know why I keep moving so much, but I am. Let's see if we can get ourselves a largemouth right here on that cast. And again, you're going to move it really, 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 really slow. And we're going to adjust this so you can see a little better. Gotta put a case on this squeezer as well as it used to. Okay, now we're coming into the smallmouth area. Now we're back over our honey hole. I appreciate all my... I'd send gifts to the Philippines, but you know it costs like $50 to send something to the Philippines. Crazy. I think I got some grass on this. Yep, I did. I knocked it off. Oh, there we go. Oh, I had a bite. Funny, huh? Normally I'm terrible at soft plastics, but since I started making them, instead of buying a soft plastic that you hope works, I'm formulating the plastisol, which is the material soft plastics is made out of. I'm coloring it and I'm formulating it in a way that oh, you know something else I wanted to try? We're going to stick this in the rod holder for a sec. It's not very deep. So I'm not much for scent, but this bait fuel, we're going to put some in these baits and let it saute. And then we're going to why is it not squirting out? Just pour a little in there. And we're going to put it in the bag. Why is my boat drifting so much? That anchor must be catching something over here. And we're just going to sort of mix that up. Now get that to really... Okay. Let's get this line up. We're going to try scent, but we're going to put on a much lighter Ned rig instead of this cord. That's pretty heavy. Okay. All right, we're right on top of this buoy. And toss this out there in the smallmouth area. And we're just going to let that sort of float down onto the rocks. We're just going to reel it in like a half a turn, really slow. And we're just going to, one half turn, a little twitch in, let it sink. And this is kind of how you work a Ned rig. which is technically what we're doing. I'm pretty sure my anchor's going to catch whatever this buoy is stuck on. We're going to stick by this buoy. Okay, there's some interest. Jigging for smallmouth. Now, the way a Ned rig works is it's a mushroom head, so it makes your bait stand straight up when it hits bottom. So it's got a little bit more of a profile to the fish. Knowing your inches per turn is important at this point because you know this has got a 31 inch per turn, and so it's 2.5 feet every time I turn my handle, and I pretty much don't have to know on the fish finder where it is. I could touch bottom, see the fish where there are, and then pretty much guesstimate by inches per turn. And you wonder why they post that. It's because it's really good information. This is a 9-to-1 reel, so this is really a lot of inches per turn. Okay, cast it out there where the largemouth is. Typically on a 1/4 ounce weight, 1 second is 1 foot. So typically, where I cast is about 15 feet deep. And so if you wait like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, you're kind of going to let that thing sink into the middle to lower water column, which is where the fish are hiding right now. You can swim a Ned, you can sit it down on the floor of the lake, you can do whatever you want. Neds are extreme. They are a finesse bait. We're going to switch this out in about 5 or 10 minutes to one of the marinated baits with bait fuel. Then I'm going to throw 1/8 ounce Ned on it, not a 1/4 ounce, because I want it to sink even slower, maybe even 1/32 of an ounce. I don't know. I'm still thinking. Typically, fish catch things on the drop. So the slower the fall, the better chances you are at catching. Now, why did I go to a 1/4 ounce? To be honest, that was kind of a silly move. But you increase weights on your jigs in order to get faster sink rates and to fight currents. We have no real current in this lake. I mean, a small current is in this lake because the underwater, the bottom of the lake has 3 cold water springs. There's none right here though. So we really have the current here is very, very minimal. But if you were in a river where it has a good current, you will probably end up going, you might go with a heavier, it all depends on the river. Typically you want a really slow fall. And when this thing falls, that paddle tail is just wiggling like that on the way down. Because I really softened up my my plastisol with worm oil, which is what you do. You want a real nice, soft, wiggly plastisol on little baits like this. On big baits, I don't. All depends on the size and technique of the bait. Oh, there's a bite. Um, Bait making is a lot of fun. You should, I mean, but it is a lot of trial and error, experimentation, taking the baits out on the lake. I wasn't really sold on salt, okay, until now. But they say not only does salt make your bait heavier, but it really makes it more fragile too. But they say that the fish, when they bite it, will hold on longer. That's what they say. And I tend to believe it now. Salted baits are heavier, and the fish tend to hold on longer, especially in a softer bite. I think it's real important. And when the water starts to cool down like it has, this lake changes so fast. Normally, on a thermocline dissipation, a dirty lake, a stained lake, they will become more stained. It becomes more foggy. It becomes less clear because it's turning. And so visibly, you can see, oh man, the lake's turning on me. Well, this lake's very clear, so you don't have that telltale. So basically, the hint is where the fish are biting, and of course your fish finder. Surface temp can or cannot tell you. So I'm doing good. Random clips, edits, hunting, and fishing. Scott, Mike, I got 8-inch bass on a spoon. Oh, awesome! I did catch a bass on my spoon, but these little grubs that I made. Why am I drifting? I should not be drifting. It's like my anchor. It's not found it, but it's definitely on. It's on the bottom. So yeah, the spoons should work. But I'm working these grubs because I made them and they're working. Okay, so we're going to do something a little different now. We're going to switch this out, and we're going to go with a much lighter Ned, and we're going to take one of those marinated things with the bait fuel, which is scientifically proven. So so that was a 1/4 ounce. So we're going to really lighten this baby up. We are going to lighten this baby up. We are not going to use an extra wide gap. So we got a lot of extra wide gap crap. I got a duck. I was in a big extra wide gap thing. Okay, that's an 1/8 ounce. Could go with a yellow. We'll do that. We'll try that. These guys seem to. This duck. Okay. These have marinated about 15 minutes, which is good. So these have bait fuel now soaked into them. So now bait fuel is water soluble scent. Why is that important? Because fish smell the water through certain glands that go in and out of their nostrils. An oil-based scent smells good to us, but oil and water, the fish can't really smell it very well. So now we've changed the color of my jig. Yeah, I see you. And we are just going to let that. Now the fall rate is much slower. And we're just going to let it fall. At its given rate. And we got a boat coming right by us. just gonna let that jig down there. Really, so now when I do this, it's got a much slower descent because I've reduced the weight significantly. Should be drifting over that little honey hole right here. Just let that do its thing. One of the important things when you learn fishing is I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking, and I appreciate it. The learn baits, learn what the bait wants to do. So when I make a bait, I have to make it want to do something, and and then I have to let it do it. When I fish, I kind of have to fight my own instincts sometimes. Well, I always have to fight my own instincts. Here's the bite. Bite, bite, bite. Oh, we got it. We got him. We got, boy, they hit real soft. So here we go. Oh, came off right at the surface. They're fun. I mean, to be honest, again, colder water creates softer bites. Warmer water will give you a much harder bite, more aggressive bite. And so you gotta, well, I think that's where the salt happens. Now we're now fishing with something called bait fuel. It's a water soluble scent that even I can't smell, but evidently the fish can. So it should attract them more, and on a soft bite, they should be able to clamp on better. That was another smallmouth, about a third of a pound. We're just letting it drop down. Now, I love bait casters, so this is a BFS bait caster, bait finesse system, and only Shimano's allowed to use that term. They trademarked it. But this is the Aldebaran, which is considered the benchmark of all bait casters, that and their Calcutta. Uh, it just is the best reel I've ever owned in my life. So we're going to pull it up real slow, and we're going to let it drop at its own rate of speed. And it's really slow because this is 1/16 of an ounce. Um, this particular Ned weight. Looks like a guy's over there crappie fishing. Crappie are fun. It's the problem about rocky bottoms. You just got to hit a rock and then grab onto the rock. I see you. I got nothing for you. I don't feed ducks. I feed fish. I hear you. There's a little duck. There's my duck. Pull this up. Cast it out. I'm going to kind of swim this thing. Let it fall. I'm going to start to swim in it in a wave pattern. But we're going to let it fall. We're going to twitch, 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 twitch. Let it fall. Twitch, twitch, twitch. And that's how I'm going to retrieve it. And it's going to be slow. Really slow, because this bait is very, very light. So now we're going to pull it up. Some twitches. One rotation of my handle. And let it drop. It's important to know your presentation because you got to change it. Up. One rotation and drop. Let it hit the ground again. Boom, we got it. We got one. So understanding your rotation, your presentation is very important. This is a largemouth. And so you can repeat it. So it's a little largemouth. And we put it back. So now with that presentation, we'll see if it repeats itself. So I'm going to toss it out there again. I'm just going to let that fall to the floor of the lake again. And we're going to repeat that same presentation. We'll see if it was a fluke or it was the presentation. Okay, now we're on the floor. Now we're going to pull it up. Twitches. Rotation. And let it fall. Let it hit the ground. You can watch your line to see when it stops being pulled, that little itty bitty weight. Now there's an osprey. And we'll pull up, rotate, let it fall. Do this. Okay, let it fall. Oh, here's the bite. Oh, I got him. Oh, I had him. Awesome. That happens. Sometimes you mistime the bite. Sometimes they don't hit the hook. They just hit the tail. But again, the presentation seems to be consistent right now. So if we keep that presentation going, let it fall. Always give it more line to let that fall straight down. If you stop your spool, it'll come down like this. It'll swing down. But I want it to drop straight down. What you do is you watch your line. This is really light line, so it's really hard to see in the water. Technically, it's fluorocarbon. It's completely visible in the water. That's why I use it. So now we're going to lift up and reel in the slack now. So 2 turns. I lifted up quite high. Just let it fall. Oop. Bam. There we go. We got one. Oh, he's good size too. He's a fighter. Here he comes. Here he comes. Oh, good 3/4 pounder. Look at him. He's the biggest one for the day. He hit good. He swallowed it. Use pliers. Reach down in there and get it. I'm getting it. There we go. So there you go. There's a little 3/4 pounder. Not bad. You can always tell by their mouths how heavy they are. I'm telling you, maybe. See now, look what they did to the paddle tail. It's gone. That's another thing about salt. Salt ruins the integrity of the plastic. And it just does. So the when you have salt inside the plastic, you're going to go through more plastics. That's the bad part. But I am fairly convinced that it makes a difference. Besides the weight of the plastic, because it will make it sink faster. So there you go. So that's our biggest one so far. So again, since I know a presentation that seems to be working pretty good for me, we need to sort of stick with that presentation until it stops working. And we just let it fall to the floor. So now it's on the ground. We're going to jiggle it and lift it up and let it fall again. We're going to jiggle, fall, And we're watching my line on the surface of the water. And when it stops getting pulled under, oop, that was a bite on the slack. So now we're going to tighten my line a little bit. So I'm going to tighten my line a little bit, and so I can feel that bite. There's a bite. Boom, there we go. We got one. Not a big one, but we got one. Oh no. Yeah, that's a perch. Big perch. I don't catch too many perch. And yet it's the most populated fish in the lake. Actually, he's decent size for in this lake. That's a decent sized perch. So didn't feel like a perch when he bit. So again, give it some slack so that so the bait drops straight down. And since it's 1/16 of an ounce, it will actually, thank you very much. Thank you, Random Scott. It's good to have some company when you're fishing. So now we're just going to do the same presentation. Twitch it on the ascent and let it drop. And just reel in the slack. Try to keep a little bit of tension, you know. We've got 3 different species today. Bam. Oh, missed it. And that's what happens when the thermocline dissipates. You get a variety of species. Although none of these are cold water fish yet. Maybe the bait fuel works. I give a lot of credit to this design though. My bait formulation. I think the salt is helping. Now we're in sort of a smallmouth territory. You guys can't get a fish on every cast, right? Pull this up and oh, you did not. Dang it. The fish took the tail off of my grub. That's the thing. That's what happens with perch. Perch will do that. They have sharp teeth, and we will just eat from the back forward on a bait. They will not go head first on a bait. They'll start in the back of the bait and work their way forward. And I don't like that about perch because your baits don't last very long with perch. So we're not going to go back into the grass because that's where perch like to hide. We can go over here. Side. Try to catch a smallmouth or a largemouth. Still falling. Bottom. Look up. Reel in the slot. Yep. Oh, thought I felt something. Probably not. Oh, there's bites. Didn't chase it. Typically, double bites like that is a perch, and I hate perch. Because they destroy baits. Perch do. Boom. Ah, missed it. I hear you. Come here, duck. Ah. Another bite. I hear you. So does my viewers. Somebody's calling me locally. I'm gonna answer it. I'll be right back, guys. They ain't want to talk to me. Why would they call me if they don't want to talk to me, right? I don't usually answer my phone, but it was a local number. It might be somebody that I knew. I don't know. Doctor or something. I don't know. Kind of annoying. There we go. There we go. We got one. We got one. Got another. Definitely a trout. Oh, fell off. Largemouth bass. Largemouth bass. Not very big, but he was a good fighter. Fell off right at the water there. Give it another shot. The presentation, the bait, everything seems to be working for us. So, that's good. That's good. Largemouth bass. I meant bass. I didn't mean trout. Okay, she calling again.